The world's best-selling car of all time is the undisputed Toyota Corolla. Since the 60s, it's been a powerhouse in the global market. And in 2025, as a 2026 model year, we're going to be getting a new one. The 13th generation Corolla is going to be special, so let's get into it. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys everything that I'm expecting for the new Corolla, the 13th generation. There hasn't been hardly any information coming out about this vehicle. So in today's video, I'm going to give you my estimation for design, interior, exterior, the powertrains, sales volume, Corolla Pick-up Truck, aka the Stout. We'll talk about that, GR Corolla, all that good stuff. If you're excited for the next generation Corolla, hit the like button. Subscribe for more updates regarding Toyota upcoming vehicles. This year, we're already getting a Land Cruiser, fully hybrid Camry, Tacoma hybrids coming out, potential RAV4 reveal by the end of the year, potential Corolla reveal by the end of the year as well. So make sure you're subscribed for all that good stuff coming down the hatch, let alone the Lexus side. There'll be some new things on that end as well for the luxury auto brand of Toyota. So without further ado, the 13th gen Corolla will continue on in two plants, at least for how we get it in the United States. The sedan comes from Mississippi, Toyota manufacturing Mississippi, and they actually only build one vehicle here, and it's not the GR Corolla. This is just comical to me. They have a placeholder image of a GR Corolla. The GR Corolla is made in Japan at the Motomachi plant. They do not make the GR Corolla at the Mississippi plant, so I just find that a little comical, but they build up to 170,000 vehicles per year out of that Mississippi plant, and that's the only vehicle as of now that is built there. This might be an average, but they're able to produce more than that if they need to. But we know Toyota wants to keep making Corolla hybrids. It's been a very successful hybrid, very affordable and efficient hybrid here in America. The only way we see them as of now is from the Takaoka plant in Japan, and that's the original Corolla plant. So if you guys would like that, history being built into your Corolla, the only way to get it is the Corolla hybrid is from that original Japan plant in Takaoka. In terms of exterior design, I don't think we're going to get a big change here. And the reason is the Corolla is already on the TNGA-C platform. And it shares this platform with the Prius, even the new Prius. It shares it with the Corolla Cross. And what I have for you guys on the screen is actually not a vehicle available in the United States, but it is kind of like the electric Corolla over in China, and this is called the BZ3. Now, what I did is I shortened it up because the BZ3 is a longer wheelbase due to it being a BEV, and it has a longer length as well. It has a shorter roofline. So what I did is just kind of scrunched up the vehicle, and this general design could be seen in the new Corolla. Kind of a floating roofline. I don't think we're going to see something as fancy as the door handles being sucked into the body. If we look at the new Camry coming out, it's actually the old Camry, just new front, new rear. And the new Camry shares the same platform as the old Camry. So the silhouette from the side is identical. The doors are pretty much identical. The roofline is identical. And I think Toyota is probably going to do the same thing for the Corolla. We're going to have the same sort of general design, except different front end and different rear end. And it's got to incorporate the new Hammerhead design language. How they will do that, I don't know exactly. It will be its own unique Hammerhead design. This does look in some ways like the new Prius with the new Camry. So expect to have this sort of general design put on the new Corolla as well. And if the Camry, which is a higher cost vehicle, kept the same underpinnings, the same bones as the old Camry, expect the cost cutting and low budget Corolla to probably do the same. Like I said, just give it a little sprinkling of newness in the front and the rear and call it a day. As a result, it's not going to have a chance of competing against, let's say, like the Civic base models in terms of handling, but it's a Corolla. It's not meant to be a fun car to drive. It's meant to be practical. If you want something fun from the Corolla lineup, go get the GR Corolla. Now let's get on the inside of the new Corolla. Now below is the current Corolla. Above is actually a better equipped Corolla Cross. Now, the interior between these two vehicles is nearly identical. We have the same shifter, we have the same steering wheel, we have the same sort of dash, slightly different design on the dash, but it's the same dash, same climate control knobs, things like that. So it's pretty much the same vehicle. And I don't expect actually Toyota to change the steering wheel. And I don't expect them to change the layout. I think it's going to be a copy and paste with slightly different design dash. I think it's going to have slightly different design vents as well. But overall, you're not going to mistake it for anything other than a Corolla or a Corolla Cross. However, I think we could see this sort of technology come into the upper trim levels of the new Corolla. So we have a larger touchscreen here. Unfortunately, no volume knob. They just have the push button volume here. So I would rather this be just a volume knob. We can keep our fingers crossed. We're going to keep the rotary dial climate control more than likely. And then check out what the Corolla Cross has in a refresh model and in certain models around the world. Not only do they have a massive panel roof, we're not going to see a big panel roof on the new Corolla. I don't expect anyways. It'd be too costly. But we have a fully digital MID that we typically see only on top spec, let's say RAV4s or the Crown or the Hybrid Max or iForce Max models. We don't see it that often in models here in the United States. In fact, hardly any Lexus models have this fully digital screen. I think the TX might be the only one at this point in time. Oh, as well as the new GX coming out. So this screen down here is the optional screen currently on the Corolla, which is a 7-inch. I think this could very well be the standard screen, and we can keep our fingers crossed for a gorgeous fully digital 12-inch screen, or since it's a Corolla, maybe they come out with a fully digital 10-inch screen for the dash down here. So we'll see. But again, the interior, I don't expect it to be that different compared to what we have now. What about if we compare it to the Prius? Well, the Prius is a more upscale model, and therefore it needs to separate itself. We're not going to see a screen as big as 12 inches. We're not going to see this sort of multi-layered dash with LEDs inside of it for ambient lighting. We're not going to have that. We're not going to have this fancier steering wheel. We're just probably going to keep the bargain basement steering wheel. And there's nothing wrong with that. This works. It's functional. And actually, I prefer it. I don't like the looks of it compared to the new Prius steering wheel, but honestly, the functionality of it is a little bit better. It's easier to get to certain buttons on this older style steering wheel, in my opinion. Hope the shifter sticks around in its current form. Even on the hybrid models, I still like having a nice dedicated standard shifter here, like of days of old, instead of the little, like if we see in the Prius, it's kind of like this. It reminds me of like the front part of a saddle. I can't think of the name of it where you rest your hand on a saddle. I prefer the shifter here. And maybe since the Corolla has to have a manual transmission, the GR Corolla, maybe they'll have to keep this sort of design with the shifter where it's at. And I think that is absolutely fine for most people. If you need to use the restroom, go ahead and do that. Grab your snacks and drinks on the way back, because we're getting into what I get most excited for, is talking about powertrains here. And yes, it's a Corolla, so it's not going to be that exciting unless you're talking about the GR Corolla, and that powertrain won't change. I expect the GR Corolla to just get, like I said, kind of copy and pasted with that GR4 all-wheel drive system and put into the new body style. And we will have some of that with the standard powertrains as well, except Toyota's going hybrid fast. The new Camry's all hybrid. I expect the new RAV4 to be all hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or fully battery electric variants of that new RAV4. Make sure to watch my 2026 RAV4 video, because that was a lot of fun to make as well. Before we get into this, I need to spin some ideas off of you, because currently the Corolla comes with two powertrains. They upgraded in the 2023 model year, the refresh of the Corolla. They got rid of the 1.8 liter in our market, and they gave it the 2 liter, which is awesome. Power upgrade. It was amazing. You still had about the same efficiency, if not better efficiency, actually, while getting, 30 more horsepower or something like that. We also have the hybrid, okay, which only has 138 horsepower. You get 50 miles per gallon, though, and it only costs about $1,500 more. And in fact, once the refresh Corolla hybrid came out to replace the outgoing Corolla hybrid, it was actually cheaper across the board, which is just incredible since it gave us more power and all-wheel drive as an option. So that's going to be our basis point today. But if Toyota decides to go fully hybrid with the new Corolla, which they can, how would they do it? Well, it's got to make sense financially first and foremost. If we pull up this Toyota document, it was kind of like their State of the Union address that was announced earlier this year. They talk about so much. I mean, look how many pages. It's 107 pages of every nook and cranny of Toyota that is available to the public anyways. Okay, of course, there's all that stuff behind the scenes. But if we talk about the profitabilities in hybrids and how much the cost has been driven down, they only cost about a sixth of what they used to cost versus the first gen Prius. And we're talking about fifth gen Prius now. And if we look at per unit profit on hybrid electric vehicles compared to gasoline models, the third generation hybrids for Toyota, anyways, here in North America for SUVs, they weren't as profitable as their gasoline vehicles. In fact, they were 12% less profitable with the third generation. Then they moved to the fourth generation. And then all of a sudden, their hybrids are 10% more profitable than their gas models. So could Toyota come out with a Corolla that is fully hybrid as well? It's a possibility, but there are some snags in the system if that happens. For the Camry hybrid as well as the RAV4 hybrid, they use a 2.5-liter hybrid system, which uses the exact same engine essentially as their 2.5-liter non-hybrid models, their base models. The problem is with the Corolla is that they use two different engines for their models. The hybrid engine is a 1.8 liter, and then their non-hybrid that they make here in the United States is a 2-liter. So they have some snags to work out. And the reason is that if they were to bring the Corolla as fully hybrid, they would essentially have to start making it here in the United States with this 2-liter, which is great because it now becomes a Prius hybrid powertrain with nearly 200 horsepower, and it gives you about the same efficiency as the 1.8. But they can't ramp up production anymore out of this Mississippi plant on this model. And there's a couple options here. They could just import all of them, all the Corollas, all 200 plus thousand from Japan, with this 1.8 liter hybrid, just one powertrain, and call it a day. They don't make this 1.8 liter here in North America, so they can't make that same hybrid in our factory. In fact, like I said, they would have to convert that powertrain to the upscale Prius powertrain with nearly 200 horse. It's just hard for me to believe that Toyota would put that much power, nearly 200 horsepower, in the Corolla. And I feel like it would kill the Prius sales if you're able to get the same efficiency of close to the same efficiency of the Prius, but the same performance, no doubt, in the Corolla hybrid. I don't think that the Corolla is likely to get this 2-liter hybrid due to that reason alone. If they decide to make the Corolla fully hybrid without making it a 2-liter hybrid, that means they all need to come from Japan. What would happen to that factory in Mississippi if all their Corollas are gone from production? Well, they would have to make something else there. And that could be the rumored Toyota Stout or the Corolla Truck. And they would have to build it in the United States to avoid the chicken tax. They couldn't build it, for example, in Japan, import it from Japan, because there'd be a 25% import tax on a pickup truck that's not built in the United States. So this is a wild theory, is that they could absolutely make all the Corollas, make them all hybrid, import them all from Japan, and then the Mississippi plant now makes a Corolla pickup truck, or the Stout, whatever you want to call it. Corolla pickup truck, the base model, could be the 2-liter here, but it could also be, and when it would make more sense as well, to use this Corolla Cross and Prius hybrid powertrain with the 2-liter and 196 horsepower. To me, that makes sense. I see how they could do it. Is Toyota going to be that bold and make the Corolla fully hybrid, import them all from Japan, and then completely switch around that plant in Mississippi to make pickup trucks and make about 200,000 hybrid pickup trucks a year with the 2-liter? That's what I would like to see. What do you guys think about it down below? And if we're going to get that excited about a Corolla pickup truck being made in the United States, can we at least get the importation of the sports touring wagon of the Corolla, if they're all going to be imported as well? That's a pipe dream. It's a hope, but I love wagons. I would love to have the Corolla Sports Touring Wagon or Touring Sports, however you want to call it, because we just don't have enough wagons here in the United States. And I know you guys, more than likely, if you come from my generation, you love wagons. Not the older generations. They seem to despise wagons, and that it results in them not being available in the United States. But man, long live the wagon. If we can get that Corolla wagon here, that would be amazing. Last but certainly not least, pricing and availability. Well, I don't think the price is going to change much. You know, Toyota needs to keep prices as close to what they are right now with high interest rates. So expect the 2026 Corolla to be maybe within $1,000 of what we see here. The 2025 model year Corolla is not out yet. That will be coming more than likely around September timeframe, and it will be exactly the same as this Corolla. Hopefully they don't increase the prices again. But if we look into 2025, when the 2026 Corolla for the 13th generation comes around, think of hopefully it comes around summertime, but it might be pushed to fall as well. And if we look here, again, I think they're going to keep the pricing structure as well as the grade structure very similar. Just 4 trim levels per powertrain makes the most sense to me. But again, they could go full hybrid here, make the Corolla as generic as possible, which is fine. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm really excited for the new Corolla, even though I'm not getting my expectations too high. I just want to see more availability on the hybrids. If we go back to the spreadsheet here, there's only about 48,000 available in 2023. I would like to see all 200,000 to be hybrid. We want more availability for hybrids. We want the price gouging for Toyota hybrids to come down from the dealers. And the only way that happens is we have better production volume. I think it's a 50-50 shot that the new Corolla is going to be fully hybrid. So I'll see you guys down below. I'm going to end it there. What are you most excited for the new Corolla? Do you think we're going to get a Corolla truck out of the Mississippi plant? That's my moonshot right there. I don't know what the chances are on that, but that's what I want. And I want all the Corollas to be imported into the United States as hybrids from the original Corolla plant. That would tick all my boxes. I don't really need the 2.0 hybrid on the Corolla, and that's kind of specific for the Corolla Cross, the upcoming truck, the Stout, as well as the Prius. And the Corolla, just keep it cheap, keep it simple, give us the 1.8 hybrid, give us 50 miles per gallon all-wheel drive as an option, and keep the price between $22,000 to $28,000, and the Corolla will live on as still the best-selling car of all time around the world. The Model Y from Tesla actually beat the Corolla in total volume for 2023, but if you include Corolla Cross sales, Toyota actually edged out the Model Y, but it's 2 different models. It doesn't really count in my opinion. But long live the Corolla. Long live cheap, affordable, and efficient cars that are also reliable, that also last the test of time, and are just the great workhorse we need them to be for our daily lives and for our families. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day and peace.